Kelechi Amadi Obi. I must add that Obi to it. I must add that Obi, otherwise his name is not complete. He insists on that Obi. Why do you insist on that?
Oh well, I mean that is what makes it unique. Really.
Makes it
yes,
Amadi name.
Yes, Amadi Obi is not a common name. Amadi is a very common Igbo name. Obi is also a very common.
And they're very good.
Yes. So
we know Kelechi Amadi.
Exactly.
Now Kelechi Amadi Obi.
Yes.
You must add that. So you're welcome to Saturday night.
Thank you.
Wow, you haven't changed though.
Oh well, I try.
At least for what is what, the dreads are still standing there. Yeah?
I do not have dreads.
So what do you call this?
I forgot to comb my hair.
You forgot to comb your hair? For how many years ago? How many years long?
No, I comb my hair from time to time, really.
From time to time? You actually comb your hair?
Yeah.
Really?
And wake up before evening.
What kind of comb do you use?
Just your regular African comb.
It won't go there. When did you decide that enough of this combing of hair every morning? I just want to, I beg, just leave that one aside and do something
We get
different.
quite busy, from morning to evening, you're shooting, you're editing, you're looking, you're researching. So sometimes you wouldn't have time to go to the barbers, But again, sometimes I like the natural, flow of things.
Okay, I hope you won't go so natural and forget to put on your clothes.
No.
Because that would be dangerous. That's going back to Adam and Eve.
Unless you're at the beach, chill out.
It's okay, in the beach, okay? We're safe. As long as that is safe. Now, Kelechi, you are somebody, people hear about you, people know you, but for some reason you are like behind the scene. Why? Is that deliberate?
Well, you see, we're the storytellers. I mean, that's what I regard myself as a storyteller. And sometimes, you observe. You become inconspicuous and you observe. And that way you absorb, society. Sometimes when you're too conspicuous, you interrupt things. So yeah, photographers, movies, sometimes you want to disappear, and then just observe,
What's the difference between an observer and a spectator?
Well, a spectator is watching what has been created, The storyteller is creating what the spectator would look at.
And the observer?
Well, you have to observe before you create. They say the artist is a mirror of his environment. And I say, if the mirror is opaque, then it cannot reflect anything. The mirror will also reflect what light you shine on it. So when you say you're the mirror of your environment, you do better. You better sort of make some research and observe very carefully and absorb before you then interpret. Then you become a true mirror.
That's gospel according to Kelechi Amadi Obi. Yes, I must add the Obi. Otherwise the name is not complete. Now, yes, we know by the name, we know you're from the east.
Yes.
What part exactly are you from?
I come from Owerri.
Owerri?
In Imo State, yes.
Okay. Was that where you schooled?
Well, I was born there.
Okay.
But my father was a senior civil servant. He was a high court judge. So they would transfer him quite a bit, So we had a little bit in Abakaliki, then we went to Aba, and then we settled in Umuahia. So I would say I grew up in Umuahia. My primary school and secondary school I had in Umuahia.
Okay, and your university?
University was the University of Nigeria.
Okay,
Enugu campus, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what did you study?
I studied law.
Law?
Yes.
Can you beat that? He studied law, and today he's carrying a camera around. How do we reconcile that contrast?
Oh, well, the truth is that in those days, just like most of my generation, parents thought you better become a lawyer or a doctor, engineer. And in those days also, having grown up in Umuahia, I didn't see any artists making a good living. So I didn't even see it as a means of livelihood. I didn't see my good friends who had talent in football going to study football. So when it came for time to go to university, I said, okay, I can do law. And of course, with a bit of prompting from my dad, who would want all of us to become lawyers and doctors. And it was when I got into university that I realized that, oh wow, you could make a good living as an artist, because in Enugu then, Enugu had quite a vibrant art environment. They had the British Council, they had to have exhibitions there, they had the ACA group of artists who used to exhibit. It was quite an eye-opener. They had IMT, which had a very, very vibrant and boisterous art department with some really, really, remarkable work coming out of their department. So I was encouraged, to keep practicing my art. But I realized that, look, you have to make sure you finish school. And I also realized that law in itself was a course that every citizen ought to study at some time or the other, because, as they say, ignorance of the law is no excuse.
You're right.
So you find out that knowing the law puts you in a good place, even as an artist, in terms of understanding intellectual property, copyright issues, and things like that. Now, I'm very glad I actually took those years to study
So we should be thanking Daddy for prompting you.
I'm utterly grateful to him.
Where's he now?
Well, he's late now.
Oh,
yes.
So Daddy, wherever you are, we are grateful for encouraging Kelechi Amadi Obi to study law. We're grateful. Now, when would you say this art thing started? When did you become conscious of your artistic prowess?
Well, from primary school,
okay.
I realized that I could draw better than the other children. So it gives you a sense of, worth as a person. You start to realize how you do have something to give to people. I would make a sketch and people would come gather around looking at the sketch, and that feeling of being able to affect society positively through the visual. I realized that very early, as a child.
Okay.
So it encouraged me to keep researching and working. Eventually, it helped me exercise that part of my intellect, and it became a part of me. And I knew that this is it. This is who I am.
Were your parents, were they aware of that secret passion for the art, for the drawing and all of that?
Oh yeah, the truth is that you can't hide it.
Okay.
That's all you do. In fact, you do it to a point of obsession. And
I hope you didn't have to draw on your dad's table, the chairs.
No, I would use paper. I was interested in paper.
Okay.
I was interested in finishing the work and keeping it. You see, in primary school, I was next to a library. The state library was next to my school, and my house was next to the school. So just walk past the school, and I'm in the state library. So I was doing research as a primary school child on, art. So at that stage, I knew that you needed to finish your work and keep it.
And you still have those now?
Yeah, I have them in files.
You must have a very big library.
Yeah, I have them in files. So I developed that idea that, look, you can do things as an artist, you can create something, you can elicit. You see, in this life, I think we're all looking for some kind of attention, positive or negative, And I do believe, I got a lot of positive attention, by being an artist right from childhood. And that's still what I've been doing since then.
Can you bet that? So if it wasn't artwork, if it wasn't this thing you're doing, this photography, artistic expression, what else would you have done apart from the law?
What else could I have done? I don't know. I mean, I was in secondary school, I joined the school choir.
Okay.
And it was quite fun singing in the choir, I guess. Who knows? I might have become a musician or something.
You used to sing?
Yeah, maybe in the bathroom.
Are you trying to play safe? You don't want me to make you sing on set?
No way. But truly, it's unimaginable, really, to find out that there was any other thing I could have done with my life. Really, it's difficult to imagine any other thing, because...
And the fact that you enjoy what you do,
it's me.
And you get paid for it.
It's me.
I mean, what could be better than that? You get paid for doing what you enjoy doing.
Yes.
Wow. So now, what would you say are the paintings? Because now, I want to ask this question.
Yes.
Are you a photographer or an artist now? Do we combine them? Or you have moved from one phase to to another?
It's good to just get this very clear.
Okay.
Question is then is what is art? Yes. You know, photography in itself can be a craft, can be an art. You know, painting can be a craft and it can be an art. You know, if you go and paint somebody's house, it's pure craft. But there's a way you will paint somebody's house, it becomes an artwork. You know, so it's about taking it to the next level, beyond just, you know, craft, towards self-expression. So whether it is photography, painting, drawing, sculpture, whatever it is, you take it to the next level and it becomes art. You know, so I started as a painter. I was working with oil paint, watercolor, you know, on paper, oil on canvas. So I was making those kind of paintings when I left university. Making portraits, I was making landscapes, I was making cityscapes, and then eventually I started painting the human form, you know, and gradually I started taking the camera more seriously, because I used to use the camera as reference material, you know, for my paintings. And then, you know, the reference materials I was creating with the camera started looking like finished artworks, and people started looking at my photographs and I said, oh wow, even though I'm not like a professional photographer, people are enjoying my photographs. And so I got encouraged to click a little more, and I started enjoying the whole process, you know, when I went to the dark room to process paper and, you know, print. And I was amazed, you know, at, you know, the extent to which you could actually manipulate photography. So it started looking quite similar to my painting process. I said, oh wow, you know, and I got hooked.
Just like that. Thank God you were not hitched. Because if you were hitched, that would have been a very, very big problem, even for your mother. Because fatherhood won't come, being a husband won't come, you know. And there are some artists like that who are just, I don't know, trapped in that world of art.
I know.
And they're not thinking of any other kind of life outside that.
Well, art, that's why they say it's a calling. You know, it is upon you, and sometimes it's also very intense. But it depends, you know, on how you see life and what it is you want to achieve. You know, for me, I believe that art is life, and as an artist, you do have a responsibility towards society. And looking at that, you have to have a balance also. You need to experience society holistically, you know, in order to express.
Do you still paint? Do you used to use a pencil? Do you still do your sketches? And
Well, these days, you know, my life has become quite busy, you know, with photography. Now I'm publishing, and I don't have time to paint like oil on canvas, but I've found a way out so that I don't lose, you know, the art of drawing. Inside my magazine, we have stories that need illustrations. So now I make those illustrations. Sometimes, you know, I do it on purpose so I can practice my drawing skills. And these days, you know, the world has come to a point where technology is playing a role in almost all aspects of our lives. So I can draw on the iPad, I can draw on the computer, you know. And it's amazing. It's the exact same feel, you know, except that you won't perceive what do you call it? The smell of turpentine and, you know, paint.
Don't you miss that smell?
Yeah, there's something about that. Yes, physical this thing, but somehow we're still able to draw. Yeah.
That's interesting. That is so interesting. Now, if you want to look back, go back in time and all the artwork you've done over time, which one is closest to your heart? Which one draws the strongest of memories and emotions in you?
Oh well, I mean, I've had several times in my life. Each time I have a goal, I want to achieve this, and then you get there, and then you have to set another goal. So I have all these milestones. But what is happening now is that it's happening really very fast. Some of those things you say you want to achieve, you achieve so quickly that it's no longer that. How do I put it? Okay, let me give you an example.
Okay.
You know, in those days I used to say, oh man, you know, I would like to do an ad campaign for a big brand. You know, now those kind of jobs are my daily work. You know, and then sometimes I say, oh, I really want to shoot this artist. I really want to shoot this actor. You know, and now those kind of shoots are your daily work. You know, so we have to keep, you know, finding new horizons. Yes, you need to keep finding new horizons, because the truth is that it's a journey and there's no arrival.
So, boy, what's your dream? What's your biggest dream now? I mean, you have achieved the other ones you mentioned. Now, at this stage, in this time, what's your biggest dream?
Well, if we're able to leave this world better for being in it. You see, the thing is that you can do some good, but that is just it, you know. There are too many problems. I mean, you're looking at Nigeria, it's huge, you know. But the question is, if I leave and people say, wow, you know, while this man was around, this is what he did, you know, he affected us positively in this way or that way. If I can find a way to amplify that, beautiful. I mean, for me, that's the ultimate achievement, you know. But at the end of the day, it's all about the process. For me, you can set your goals, you know, massive goals, you know, world domination and all that. It's nice, it's all good to have dreams. But at the end of the day, it boils down to the process of achieving those dreams.
True. I totally agree with you. But is there any person or a personality or an object that you really desire to explore this moment in time?
Person.
Personality. Object.
Unfortunately, you know, I mean, there's a guy that really affected me deeply in terms of his, you know, personality. What's his name? Nelson Mandela. Now that guy single-handedly, I would say, you know, kept the country together by just saying, I forgive them. Now that is so powerful. So I'm looking at it and I say, look, by doing that he saved so many lives. He kept the white folks and the black folks together in the same country, just by saying, after you've put me in jail for all my life, fighting for my people, you've killed my people, you've worked on apartheid, all that. Everybody was looking for revenge. The guy just said, I've forgiven them. Now, it's beyond art. You see, that is affecting the world. It's not just, he taught humanity how to be better. And then, you know, he had the chance to become president for life, really. I mean, if Mandela said, I want 5 terms inside their constitution, they would have given that to him.
True.
He didn't even go beyond second term. He didn't want his second term. He said, look, you know, I think I've done enough. Thank you very much. Now, for me, that is inspiration. You see, it's beyond art. It's about leadership. Now, if I can learn from that guy and implement what he has done into my life, it's very simple. Believe in one thing. Fight for it. Stick to it. Invest your whole life in it. And at the end of the day, give it away.
That's art. Fight for it.
Yes.
Invest in it.
Yes.
And give it away.
And give it
Sell
away.
it off.
Let
it go.
Let humanity
enjoy
it. When you leave something good behind. You know? I mean, right now, just words that the man spoke and died for has completely changed civilizations. I'm talking about Jesus Christ. Well, he's not a man, he's the Son of God. But you know, at the end of the day, he left these things. And look at where we are today and how many lives have been saved, you know, based on just one. So for me, art is beyond just creating. It's what do you leave behind? You know, so it's my dream, you know, if I can leave something behind, something positive. And if I can do it through my art, beautiful. But at the end of the day, whether you achieve it or not, the important thing is, what do you put in every morning 24 hours, what do you put in? It is the process, for me, that is the life. If you're competing, beautiful. It gives you traction. Compete against yourself. Be better than what you were yesterday, you know, and savor the process of being better.
Great. I like that.